Hey, my loves, let's talk a little bit about our subconscious mind. Our subconscious is so powerful. It's miraculously powerful. And I do believe that once you understand your subconscious mind, you literally get the keys to the kingdom. Because once you know how your subconscious mind works, once you become aware of of your subconscious patterns, then you can change and shift your subconscious mind to work with you to help you manifest your desires becoming a reality. So to explain that, let me give you an example from my own life. So the two biggest stories that come up when it comes to the unconscious self-sabotaging behaviors that we all have within us is these two things. So one was when I went to a Tony Robbins seminar a while ago, to one of his seminars, because I've done all of them. So in one of those seminars, we made a list of all the things that are important to us. And we put them in the order. And at the top of the list for me was success. So consciously, I've always been a go-getter. I've been a hustler. I've always set really big goals. And most of the time I achieve those goals. So at the top of the list was my success, right? On the other hand, we put together a list of all the things, all the feelings that we want to avoid. He calls them your away values. And at the top of that list, in the order of importance, the number one was failure. So on the subconscious level, the number one thing that I want to avoid in my life is failure. So once you're aware of that, once I became aware of that, I looked at those two things, and do you see how they're in direct conflict with each other? On one hand, I have really big goals. I'm yearning success. I want to achieve all these big goals. And on the other hand, my number one thing that I want to avoid is failure. And as you know, you cannot achieve success as long as you are like it's impossible to achieve success without sometimes experiencing a failure, which I don't even like that word. Now I call it a learning. Anytime I don't get whatever I want, it's still a win, because it's still a success, because it is a huge learning for me. So once I realized that, I was like, oh, well, no wonder I have this internal conflict, this internal glitching going on the subconscious level that is literally pulling me in two opposite directions. On one hand, I want to achieve success. On the other hand, I'll do whatever I can to avoid failure. And as long as these two things are pulling me in the opposite directions, I'm simply unable to move forward. And it's really, really subtle stuff. However, it's really, really powerful. So the way I got out of it is I rearranged my values, and in the end, like, I eliminated that inner conflict within me. And today I actually want to talk to you about the self-sabotage. And you probably can think of examples, or you probably know some people who have this pattern of behavior. Let's say a person does a really great job getting into shape. Let's say he loses 50 pounds and gets into his ultimate shape, only to gain all of that weight back within 3 to 6 months. And then he goes in and he gets his life together again and loses another 50 pounds, 75 pounds, and then just a little bit later, he gains it all back. Do you know people like that? Or maybe you know somebody who ends up being in the same relationship over and over and over again. Like, let's say, like, I have a friend who has been in every kind of abusive relationship. Every single time, the relationship that she's in ends up being an abusive relationship. So why does that happen? Obviously, nobody wants to be fat, unhealthy, and unhappy, right? Consciously, we'll always choose ultimate health. Consciously, we'll always choose ideal body weight. Consciously, we'll always choose a love-filled relationship. So then how come do we end up, or if we find ourselves in an unhappy relationship, or in a situation where our health is not that great, we're overweight, we don't feel good about ourselves, we miss out on all the career opportunities, we don't have the money, the love, the success, the lifestyle that we yearn for. And a big part of the answer to that question has to deal with your subconscious mind. And in esoteric terms, it's the vibration, right? It's again connecting to that level of vibration where your energy is connected to a different type of vibration where you are attracting wealth and love and prosperity and health. Let me talk to you a little bit about how your mind works. So there is a part of you that is designed to protect you. Your subconscious mind, the number one reason for, number one goal of your subconscious mind is to keep you safe. So in some patterns of behavior, even in your self-sabotaging behavior, the main intention of your subconscious mind is to keep you safe, to keep you protected. But once you understand that, once you realize that, once you have awareness around that, you can make a new choice. And a lot of times, you guys, from my personal experience, identifying that self-sabotaging part of you and truly accepting it and honoring it and loving it and acknowledging it, most of the time will completely free you up from that self-sabotaging behavior so that you can clear it and move forward. So let me give you an example from my personal life. So the meditation that I'm sharing with you, it's called the Self-Sabotage Part Meditation. It's really powerful. I've done it many times. The first 3 times I did it, nothing came up for me. But once I did it again, because to me, repetition is the mother of skill. That's how you get the results. So I did it for about 3rd or 4th time. I got this mind-blowing result, which I'm going to share with you. So I did this meditation, and when you do it, I'm taking you into this deep state of relaxation, a total body and mind relaxation, because when you're relaxed, that's when you get access to your subconscious mind. It's kind of like a state of trance. So when I did this meditation that you will do in the upcoming days, I got, like I said earlier, a lot of times the divine will talk to you in the form of images. And I invite you to become really curious about that. Sometimes you'll hear a sound, even a smell, or you'll have like a verse from a song or a poem. Like your subconscious mind truly is incredible. So for me, what came up, I saw this image of like a turtle, like what you call it, the panzer in Russian, like a part of the turtle that is hard. I saw that, and then I was like, isn't that interesting? And then I saw like a lizard, like a tail, and then like a face lizard. And I was like, interesting. Like that's the subconscious mind. My subconscious mind is giving me some sort of communication. I was like, that's interesting. Tell me more. What's that? What's that about? And then eventually, as I was like, instead of like getting into this frustrated state of like, are you kidding me? A lizard? I was like, okay, interesting. Tell me more. What is it about? What are you trying to tell me? What I realized as part of like surrendering to this process in this meditation, I realized that the lizard is not actually a lizard, but it's a freaking dragon, a huge dragon, like in a Game of Thrones, with huge wings. And what I realized is like, I am a freaking dragon. I am a dragon, but you know what? I haven't fully spread my wings yet. And the reason why I haven't fully spread my wings and stepped into my power and did everything that, I'm destined to do in this life, because I care too much about what other people think. And I let other people's judgment of me hold me back. And in this meditation, you guys, I saw it so clearly. Even though I had a hugely successful yoga business, 7 studios, a juice bar, online platform, a retreat center, like it was a hugely successful business financially, energetically, in terms of fulfillment, in terms of like following my heart's desires and my passion. Even during my yoga one days, I've always held myself back And the reason why I held myself back, it was because I was too worried about what other people will think of me, what other people will feel of me, and I never let myself fully spread my wings. And it was like I was not aware of that. And as a matter of fact, I used to prevent myself, like I didn't fully do what I wanted to do to the full extent that I could do because of that fear of other people's judgment. And in this meditation, I had this epiphany. It was a mind-blowing epiphany. It was so emotional for me. I was like, oh my gosh, I see it so clearly. I did not know that. But once I kind of embraced that part of me, instead of being like, Albina, are you kidding me? You care about what all of these haters think. Instead of that, it's like energetically, like I hugged myself and I honored all of my feelings, and I was grateful for that self-sabotaging part of me, because it always wanted to keep me safe. It was taking care of me. And something happened when I energetically like accepted it and acknowledged it. It was absolutely cleared. So mark my words, my friends, I'm about to spread my wings and fly and step into the fullness of my power. So I'm sharing with you this story. Like, I like to share with you stories from my life. So hopefully like it gives you more color and helps you understand all of these bigger concepts. In this meditation, I invite you to relax fully and just trust the process. If nothing comes up the first time, the second time, the third time, just do this meditation every day. You know, like I said, to me, I had to do it 3 or 4 times before I even got this realization, this epiphany. And now I do this meditation, you know, every 3 or 4 months. Like I just did it the other day and I had another epiphany. So the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And I'll tell you that, you know, we're constantly changing, we're constantly evolving. And if you've cleared out your self-sabotaging behavior, you know, 6 months down the road, you'll probably acquire something new. So do that meditation again. In other words, it's a continuous process. It's not just something that you do once and you're done with. You do it all the time. And with these tools, you get to evolve, you get to grow, you get to expand, you get to spread your wings, and you get to step into the fullness of your destiny. You get to shape your own destiny. So enjoy this meditation, have fun with it, be patient with it, and trust the process. I love you. Bye.